Welcome to the Application Geometry Practice Test. Let's go ahead and walk through this test. I told you before I love geometry, it's much better. So questions 1 through 4, we have a diagram. The diagram has several lines that split and meet, creating several angles. You'll see that you have two angles. You have 63 degrees and 90 degrees. Now, if you get bored, remember you can always figure all these out because the vertical angle is always the same. So 63 and 63. And since I've got 63 and 80, and these three make a line, I can figure out what this angle is based on it. And I can cheat here because these two are complementary. So 63 plus something equals 90. So to find this angle here, all I got to do is go 90 minus 63. 8, 1, gives me a 7 and a 2. So this angle is 27 degrees, as is the vertical angle, because all vertical angles are congruent. I've labeled this. I didn't even answer a question because I knew they were going to go for that. Now that I've got this labeled, answering the questions is so much easier. In fact, the first 4 questions deal straight off with this. So let's go through. What is the measure of angle SVT? So remember, we're doing SVT. We've already figured SVT, that angle is 27 degrees. So I already got that one. Name a pair of vertical angles. There's a bunch. Remember, a vertical angle is back and cross. So I'm just going to do the 63 one. So RVS. So angle RVS and angle. Make sure you draw your angle symbols. RVS, and its vertical angle is the one straight across. So PVU. If you could also write UVP because it doesn't matter which end you start on, as long as you don't start in a vertex, it's always in the middle. Name a pair of complementary angles. Complementary angles equal 90 degrees. So I like to write that there. So 90 degrees. A couple of complementary angles. Well, since we know these two equal 90 degrees, that's what we found here. So I'm going to do these. RVS, angle RVS, and angle, since RVS, the other one is SVT. Last one is name a pair of supplementary angles. Supplementary means 180 degrees. We need a pair. So since I've been RVSing all day, I'll just keep RVS again. RVS. And I'm looking for an angle that makes that 180. So angle RVS. There is many options here. RVS and SVU. Don't get trapped into picking the other things. Remember, one of the things about supplementary and complementary, if you stick to an angle that always has it opposite, your life is golden. So SVU is my other one, angle SVU. And that was pretty easy because I labeled everything up front. Alright, so let's look down here. It says, which of the measurements below is equivalent to 1 meter? So 1 meter is approximately 1 yard. A meter is a little bit more than a yard. The point of this is, remember that. So a meter is a little more than a yard. It's definitely not miles. There's our little more than a yard, 1.09. That's a little more. Not inches, not feet. It's definitely yards. Meters equate to yards. There's the bell. There's nobody here, but there's still a bell. So let's use the circle below for questions 6 through 8. What is the diameter of the circle? Well, radius is 1/2 a diameter, so a diameter would go all the way across, which would be 18 times 2. 18 times 2 is 36. So the diameter is 36. Don't forget your measurement, meters. What is the circumference? Well, circumference equals diameter times pi, right? Or pi times diameter. So circumference equals, the diameter up there we said is 36 times 3.14. So I can do 3.14 times 36. I get 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 2 times 1 is, or 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times, I brought my 0 there. Not going to do that mistake again. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. And 3 times 3 is 9. 4. 10, I carry the 1, 12, 13, I carry the 1, 10, 11. I've got 2 decimal places, so I got 113.04, which happens to be this answer right here, rounded up to the nearest meter. And the last one, what is the area? of the circle. So area, remember area of a circle is pi r squared, and hopefully you're thinking right now, oh, no it's not, it's round. If you are, then I've done my job well. So the area of a circle, we know our circle has a radius of 18, so our area equals 3.14 times 18 squared. So 18 squared is 18 times 18. Do not do 18 times 2. If you get that weird urge, stop yourself. Remember, squared means number times itself. 8 times 8 is 64. Carry the 6. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Get rid of that. I love ones. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. I get 4. I get 12. Carry the 1. I get 324. So I get 324 times 3.14. I got longer math to do now, right? Move this up a little bit. So 16, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Get rid of that. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring my 0. Then 1 times 4. I love multiplying by 1 because it's easy. 2 zeros because I'm in third spot. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9. Add it all up. 6. 13, carry the 1. 6, 7. Oops, sorry, I lost my, with the cuckoo, I lost my 11. Carry the 1. We got 2 decimal places here. So we got 117.36, which happens to match perfectly with answer C. So far, so good? Remember, use your formulas and take your time. If you have to do it on another piece of paper, great. You'll notice this test has a lot of blank space. Look at all this blank space, the sides and stuff. Write all over it, man. The tree is dead. It's already died. Use it up. All right. So this figure we're going to use for questions 9 through 10, we see it's going to be a two-part figure. So they're probably going to ask us a couple questions, and we know what they're going to ask. So the first thing I'm going to do, even though I made that sideways, is make it 2 parts. So now I've got 2. I've got a 20 by 12 and an 8 by 34. Now let's go answer the questions. So what's the area of the figure? Well, 20 times 12. 12 times 20. 0, 4. Can you see that on there? Nope, it's a little over. And 2 is 2. So 240 feet squared there. 8 times 34. 34 times 8. 8 times 4 is 32. Carry the 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 3 is 27. So 272 square feet. Well, adding them together, 272 plus 240, 2, 4 plus 7 is 11, carry the 1, 512, there it is, square feet. Now what's the perimeter? Well, the perimeter, we just go around and measure. And the easiest way to do this is label it out. So I'm going to start here, 2012. Well, this measurement, I've got 7 foot plus, because this is 20 foot right here, but it doesn't really matter. 27 feet, I want to get to 34, so this is 7 foot. 8 foot, 34 foot, 8 foot, 7, and the opposite of that is 12 feet. So now all I got to do is go around and make a big, long number. So 20 plus 12, remember as you go, if you got to, make a little mark on them, plus 7, plus 8, plus 34, plus 8, plus 7, plus 12. And I've gone all the way around, so now all I got to do is add. Let's see, 2, 7 is 9, 8 is 17, and 4 is 21, and 8 is 29, and 7 is 36, and 2 is 38. So there's 8, carry the 3. 3 and 2 is 5, and 1 is 6, and 9 and 10, so 108 feet. And there happens to be my answer. Life is golden. All right. That was that one. Question 11. A rectangle is 2 meters wide and 7 meters long. A similar rectangle is 4 meters wide. How long is a similar rectangle? This is just a ratio question. So 2 to 7 equals, now it's wide on top, so we got width and length. So 2 to 7 is 4 to something. We don't know what x is. Look at this. If I multiply 2 by 4, I get, or 2 by 2, I get 4. So 7 times 2 is 14. There's my answer. All right. 12. A box contains 3 green pins, 3 red pins, and 1 blue pin. So let's think about this box, and I got a lot of people having this problem. How many pins are in the box? So the box has how many pins? 2 plus 3 plus 1 is 6 pins. There are 6 pins in the box. If you pull out a pin out of the box without looking, what's the probability of not, be careful of the not ones, pulling out a blue pin? So what it means, not a blue pin, is any other pin. There's only 1 blue pin, there's 2 green pins and 3 red pins, so 2 plus 3 is 5. The probability is 5 and 6 of not pulling out a blue pin. Remember, it's the chances of doing it over the total probable or the total possible options. So let's look at number 13. A circle has a circumference of 314 feet. What is the radius of the circle? Well, we know that circumference equals, let me move this down here so you can see. Circumference equals diameter times pi, right? Well, if our circumference is 314 feet, we've got 314 feet equals d times 3.14. So following our math, I could have drawn this better. Our whole thing we learned, we divide, since we're multiplying over, we can divide by 3.14, both sides. That'll go away, it'll come d. We divide 314 by 3.14. Well, I love it when they're like that. So 314 divided by 3.14. Before you go and say 1, remember you got to move this decimal 2 places. And the same thing over here. Since there's a decimal here, you got to move it 2 places and fill those in with zeros. So 314 goes in 314 once. And then we've got a couple of zeros that follow. So the radius is 1/2 the diameter. If the diameter, we found the diameter, d equals 100. Radius is 1/2, so that's 50 feet. Which of the equations below matches the relationship shown in the table? There are 2 ways to tackle this. I'm going to go with the first way. Remember that if x is 0, then y is b. This is b. Now, that'll tell me that it's going to be plus b. Now, the way I know it's plus is both sides are rising at the same rate. So I can instantly wipe out 2 questions. And then I can use my brains. Go from here to here. I added 1 to x. What had it here? If it's 5, I just added 1, right? So I went 1 and I went 1. The change in y over the change in x is 1 over 1, so it's just x plus 5. And look at that. 0 plus 5. X is 1 plus 5 is 6. X is 2 plus 5 is 7. Now the other thing I could have done is just gone down through here and said x plus 4. Well, x is 0 plus 4. Well, that doesn't work because it became 5. And I could have quickly worked through all of them. If you choose that route, you have to work through all of them. You cannot just work through one and say it works. Generally, if you got a table like 3 like this, the first one will work and the other one won't. Or the first 2 will work and the third one won't. So you got to go, if you're going to do that method, you got to go all the way through it. All right. Which of the following is the solution to the inequality below? We can actually do the math that we talked about before, but you're going to get in trouble because inequalities create that problem with that less than or greater than. So let's do it like we do normally. First, we're going to get rid of anything added or subtracted. So this one is 4, so we're going to add 4. So I get 2x, because these 2 go away, is less than or equal to 16. Now I divide by 2. It is not a negative number. I'm not dividing by a negative number, so I don't have to flip it. So that goes away. X is less than or equal to 16 divided by 2 is 8. There's my answer. Well, I hope that was helpful. It doesn't hurt to listen to it again if you got to.